another podcast edition. Today we're going to be talking about superstitions and how they affect people in society and in life. So, what's the most... which superstitions have you ever heard of, guys?
Hi, I'm Taurai. Welcome.
Tafi
No one
here.
introduced us today.
On a side note, he doesn't want to introduce us.
We are the usual suspects, though.
These are the same usual suspects indeed. Now, superstitions have a problem that they are, the actual things might actually be beneficial, but they are founded and based and grounded in myth. There's one, for example, you grew up from our country, we had this. Don't sit in the road, because if you sit in the road, your bums will have boils. Now, this is no scientific correlation. How can sitting result in boils? But the issue is, if you sit in the road, the direction that you are not facing, something will come from there, be it a bicycle, be it a person, be it a car, be it a lorry, be it something. Something will come from there and bump you. This is the problem with superstitions. Superstitions are not necessarily grounded, based on fact, on real life. But sometimes, not all the times, sometimes have a real need that they are addressing.
Okay, Tao.
I got a bag of superstitions. I could go on the whole day. But you had, when we were growing up, you had, like, from my country, from Zimbabwe, you had this, like, children are not supposed to be eating eggs. If you eat eggs, you'll have panic attacks. What was that about?
You would have infantola on the top of your head.
So
don't feed children with eggs. Your head, on top of your head here, you'll have this soft spot that doesn't grow hard. What do we call it in Shona? Nova. Yes, that one.
Tabuka. So that's one of the superstitions.
Infantile something on a technical, medical term. That's craziness.
So that one, like you said, Tavi, these superstitions, some of them were meant to safeguard certain things. But I believe this one, people were a bit greedy because they didn't want children to be eating them eggs. Because most of the time, the children are the one who feed the chickens, who stay with the chickens the most. And maybe they saw that if children discover that eggs were so nice, then they were probably going to be eating the eggs, and the grown-ups would have nothing. So I think that some of these ones were greed-based. I mean, who says to a child, don't eat eggs? I mean, that was like, that's like ridiculous.
I feel someone's pouring out their heart
No,
from a personal perspective.
I ate eggs. I ate eggs, but I'm just picturing the whole scene where, like, you're seeing just eggs. You don't even know what they taste like. And when you grow up, it's like for the first time you have an egg, and like, oh shit, this is what I was missing when I was a kid.
But we also had this superstition when we were going to school that if you carry eggs, you carry your egg salad, you're going to be farting all the time. And people will be like, why are you carrying eggs?
No, it's not only eggs. No, that is actually scientifically proven. It's not eggs, it's boiled eggs. Boiled eggs have a problem. Boiled eggs actually do increase your gas in your stomach. I don't know how it happens, but it is true. This is what they do.
And beans.
Oh, and beans.
Not
Now
yet
imagine
beans.
if you carry boiled eggs and baked beans.
But that's a good meal.
It is. It's actually a good meal.
Yeah.
But it wreaks havoc with your stomach.
But the superstition was not that. It was not mostly about you passing gas. It was mostly about it smells.
Because the gas that comes from eggs. You see, a rotten egg. Do you remember that science test that we did in the laboratory when we were growing up, where they would say this gas smells like a rotten egg smell?
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that?
What was
Now, imagine the egg smell when you smell it. It's not necessarily pleasant, especially the boiled egg. It's okay, we eat it, we take it because it's food. But now imagine that smell goes through your body and then comes out as the infamous rotten egg smell.
It's nonsense to me.
Yeah,
It's
so
not nonsense. It's
these
going to
are
be a
these are
big-
superstitions we had.
Children are
scientifically
children are supposed to carry boiled eggs to school without any form of.
No, children are not supposed to carry boiled eggs to school. Boiled eggs should be eaten as soon as they have been cooked. Taking kids to don't do this.
Okay, now I understand. Because of the
Kids
heat
should not take,
and the heat
and
during
then they eat them during.
lunchtime.
It's not
break.
allowed. If you go to a hotel and they make you a boiled egg and you leave it and then you ask them to make it a packed lunch, they will tell you we'll pack everything else except the boiled egg.
Okay, we get you.
What's the other one? Well, the other one for me was that the sweet potato, like if you're supposed to eat the sweet potato the day that you cook them, and if you eat them the next day, it wasn't allowed, especially for men.
Yeah, only women are allowed to eat the sweet potato when it spends the whole night.
Why was
in your
that?
country?
Yes, this
Yeah,
is
we
in
were
our
told
country.
that.
I don't know from where you come from, which country you come from.
Forget about where I come from, but this is in your country, really?
Yeah,
You
so-
don't want men to eat slept over.
No, for sweet potatoes
potato?
particularly, they said men should not eat that stuff. You only eat it when they cook it.
It's all men, including boys and so.
Any men.
All men,
All men.
My
all
God.
all
So I
penis
believe
bearing.
Your women are very
Individual.
stingy. Your
That's
women are
one,
very stingy.
one other one.
Honestly, with this issue of the sweet potato, I think it was just an issue of when these guys are doing the plates, they're washing the dishes. They get something, one or two things they can just eat while they're just doing chores. That's what I think.
Yeah, maybe because women wanted the
Or
ones
they didn't want to wash the plates of which contained the sweet potatoes the day after. So it means your women are stingy and lazy.
No, the other thing might be that it was rationing, so people would cook things
What
that they
what they can
consume
finish.
at that time. Yes, rather than you having sweet potatoes left over and stuff. What about the gizzard?
The gizzard is a gizzard, my friend. This idea of it telling you to forget your friends or relatives.
don't work.
This is craziness.
Honestly speaking, I wish the gizzard had that power. I would forget some relatives. I really don't mind.
Now, unfortunately, it doesn't. But you can't eat it because it was called that. So you see now we are getting back to what Tao was talking about. There is an issue of someone who was greedy. The grindiness of the gizzard. The grr, 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 the niceness of it. That's
Crunchiness.
Even if it is a broiler
That crunchy
or a
taste.
hot runner,
That crunchy
it
taste.
still tastes the same. It's crunchy, it's hard, it's
Satisfying
you
at
know,
the same time.
you just ask your better half or you yourself just go in, take a couple of gizzards, like now they sell them as gizzards, just fry them and sit down to watch EPL and tell your kids, no, these ones you are not allowed to eat them because they make you forget your relatives.
Yeah.
You will forget your own sister, my son. Don't eat this one.
So it some of it was actually based on
Greed, it's greed, and Tao is right.
and another one, I also on the same line, like we have, I think I've also had a companion from another country saying when men slaughtered a cow or any animal, that the women were not supposed to eat some of the parts for that animal, like the testicles for any, like let's say it's a goat or it's a cow. It was only men who were allowed to eat that. And I don't know the repercussions of women eating that. So I mean, maybe you can explain, Munya.
Why me? But I wasn't honestly, I think those are the type of meat, that the guys outside, they have their small fire, they just put it on the fire and then they just eat, So most probably, there might have been a nosy lady. I was like, so where are the testicles?
See, this type of nosiness. This is why you have superstitions. This type of nosiness should not even be allowed. You see, when you have a woman being that nosy.
And then there was a drunk uncle, who was like, oh, why are you asking about the testicles?
Yes.
Testicles are for men.
Yes, this is why you have
Because men have them.
superstitions. Because you can't have that type of nosiness. How can you be asking about this? What if your in-law is right there and your father-in-law is there and you're asking about those kind of meats?
So
What's wrong with you?
So you
Next
see,
thing you'll be asking about the real thing in front of the testicles.
so that's why some of them were, I don't know, maybe social, whatever, morally. But my friend in Kenya also confirmed the same thing, that in Kenya, it's the same thing, but women in Kenya actually have flipped the script. They're saying why. They ask them why. And some of the men have not been able to explain it. So now in Kenya, we now have a situation where even when you are the ones who are doing the cutting, the killing, the slaughtering of the beasts, the women will actually want even those things. Because
traditionally for men.
Because they are asking men why. Can you explain? And some of the people cannot explain. So they'll say,
superstition.
They'll say, we'll take it.
So are we saying that superstitions mold our traditions?
Not only do they mold our traditions, some superstitions are actually our tradition. Because superstitions, you see, superstitions have an intertwining to what people believe normally in their day-to-day. And then this carries on from generation to generation to generation to generation. We grew up hearing, whatever is good is good. Milk should not be seasoned.
In other terms, to translate, chakanaga chakanaka mkaka urungwe.
Yeah.
But then what happened, as soon as we got into the Arabic world, as soon as we came into the Middle East, we found milk. And milk was being what?
Seasoned.
What do you have in milk now? Now, this is the interesting part. You have carrots, you have chilies, you have onions,
Salt.
You have salt, you've got all these things that are being used and being put in milk, and then it's called raita.
And then
It's no longer.
Then there's labanab.
Then there's labanab, which is just salted, and then there's sweet lassi, which is just sugared,
and lemon laban also,
which has got a bit of lemon. And so you see, so now, but look at you. The first time you saw this, you looked at it and were like, how can I even drink anything like this? Because you have been ingrained to understand that milk should not be seasoned. Even when you make lacto, even when you make it hodzeko, even when you make it the milk that we are going to eat with our sada, with our pap,
milk. It's
just
pure raw
milk, just left to stay there with someone who knows what they're doing, he or she. Wind it up a bit.
Yeah.
After 2-3 days, it's perfect. Right?
Yeah.
So as you can see there, it's the superstition that has brought a way of living. So the superstition has actually shaped the way of life. It's now a cultural thing. Only if you are removed from that scenario and given and exposed to something else do you realize, no, the statement that whatever is good, milk should not be seasoned, is not necessarily true.
Yeah.
But when you season it, something even better comes out of it.
Yeah. Because I've been thinking about a lot of superstitions that we've heard when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Like, for example, this issue that you're not supposed to make noise in the evening, or else some weird force is going to take away your voice.
Don't get me started on those evening things.
Yeah. And then there are things like chimdzimudzangara. I don't know what you call that. I never saw that thing.
I was so scared. I remember a couple of dreams, when I was growing up in my bedroom, where I would see this tall person going so high up into the sky, and then coming back, and then my little brain has no logic to think this has even exceeded the ceiling.
Yeah.
But I can see this thing is so tall. And then it's so tall, it's even bending down and then looking at me with the red, fiery eyes. Eyes are blazing fire, looking at me. But now when I think of it, in my adult life, even in my teen life, I never had those dreams. Because I think I told myself, nothing can be that tall to be taller than the whole building and then bend over and come back. So I don't have those anymore. But it was so scary. It's burned vividly in my mind. Chimu Tangara. It's a total bloody nonsense thing that goes all the way
Yeah.
up and is able
Endless.
to bend.
So as
It
much
comes
as
back.
as much as superstitions might have a negative side to them, but they also have a positive side.
Yeah,
That's now, so I have to be scared. The positive is me being scared.
It's
not
it's
all superstitions are bad,
bad,
but
yeah.
some have like we were talking earlier. Some they were meant to preserve or to
Have greed.
no, like where we come from, like we have tribes. Like you come from a certain tribe, and when you went into the area, the animal that was there is supposed to be your tribe. In a way, they were saying you cannot eat that animal because it's now your totem. Why? Maybe it's a way of preserving
That
that
animal.
animal because you are going to be there and there's going to be a lot of people. Maybe they'll clear that animal to become extinct.
I
Yeah.
don't buy that.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
is.
buy that.
It
For
is.
me, this totem issue to me,
Mm.
just like when you talked about the dreams episode and you said all dreams were one way or the other sexually connected. For me, I know and I really believe all this totem nonsense is sexually connected. There's nothing about that. Eating is a way of to make it sound nice to everybody. But actually, all those totems, they are based in sex somewhere.
Okay, that's the way you see.
So
it.
I don't believe that one. In that this superstition was for to save the animals. No, I think instead superstitions. One, the greed. Two, to help you. We talked about the one about the road. Kids, I mean, if you were playing, what do we have that with the stones? Nodo.
Uh-huh.
And then you do it in the middle of the road. You are hardly ever going to hear anything because of the concentration that you're going to have while you are playing. You won't hear a truck coming. You won't hear a bicycle coming. You won't hear even a donkey, a runaway donkey pulling a cart, which is very frequent in our country.
Mm.
You won't hear it.
You
You're
won't even
so concentrated, don't
You won't hear a Tesla coming.
You never hear
It is
Tesla.
nowadays. And now even if you're concentrating, you can't hear that one. Now, so to make sure that even if you don't hear it, it doesn't affect you. You are not supposed to sit in the road. So therefore, what you're going to do when you want to play, and there's a ready-made hole already in the middle of the road, you're not going to use that one. You're going to go and dig your own hole somewhere to play Nodo in. Because if you sit in the road, you'll get boils on your bum.
Okay.
So are we saying that there are no positives from superstitions?
There are some positives, and I've noticed actually to bring. I don't know if it's a side note, but there are superstitions which are cross-cultural. Some superstitions like they cross cultures and borders and people and religion.
Yeah.
Like this one I saw. I've got a list of superstition. There's a superstition which says whistling indoors invites evil. I remember, especially in the evening, when I was told don't whistle. Especially when you go to the rural areas, they always told me don't whistle.
Can I tell you why?
The reason why I was told that one about
Go
not
ahead.
whistling is because I was told that snakes will hear that and think that rats are close by.
Have you ever listened to what rats, the sound that rats, if you ever had rats in your house or rats in your roof, ceiling, have you ever had, that's the sound that they make, very high-pitched sound. Now, if you start whistling, it's a high-pitched sound. Now, rats are food for snakes. So you whistle, and snakes are mostly nocturnal, especially at night, like you said. Snakes are mostly nocturnal. So don't whistle, because when you whistle, you mimic a rat. Now, snakes hear the rat, they will forgo the fact that there are lights in that place. They will come and look for the rat.
So you can see it's actually a positive. And like I was reading, this one is actually from Lithuania, where it's forbidden to whistle indoors because they believe that it will summon demons. And actually, when I was growing up, they told me if you whistle as well, it will actually summon ghosts. From where I come from, they said if you whistle, if you're walking in the road, don't whistle because you actually summon ghosts. Ghosts will actually come there and haunt you where you're whistling because of your whistling. It's like you're calling. It's like a spiritual call to evil spirits. So
That's a don't. That's still a negative.
that's a negative. But the positive, like he's saying, because of rats and snakes, you can say it's a positive.
What about this superstition we have that you're not supposed to sweep the house in the evening, or else you're going to chase all the ancestors out?
For ladies, for mostly women who do the normal chores like sweeping the yard.
Can we go back to the laziness that I talked about earlier? I mean, seriously. I mean, no, you know what? You have to see how these ladies do things. No, ladies, I love you. I really do. But, I mean, look at how they do things. For example, they cook the pap, sadza, ugali, whatever we call it, right? And then they leave the stick that's been used, right? In the pot or in water or even out of water, so that tomorrow you see the lady doing it tomorrow, even if it's in the raw areas, right there by the dara, trying to clean with a knife or a spoon that scraping off the hard, dried pap sada from the wooden spoon, wooden stick.
Yeah.
But the truth is, this could have easily been done just as soon as you finished, and it would have not been a matter of scraping, it would be a matter of just wiping, and all this soft pap that you have cooked will be there. But then, raise it up with the ladies and they'll say, then I'm not normal if I can't. No, it's not about being normal. It's about doing the easier thing rather than the hard thing tomorrow where you go, wah, 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 wah.
Most probably it was an issue that they wanted to be seen as participating, and early in the morning while people are doing things, people are going to the fields and what, but
yeah, doing something
for like
and fear. You remember, we don't have electricity, so having to go out in the rural area, go outside
for ladies,
for ladies to sit down there, and you know what? We have snakes coming into the huts, into the place. So just going out is going out where the evil is. And trying to take a candle out or something.
It's far-fetched.
When you look at it like that.
Yeah. But then, okay, fine. Besides these, give us another.
Yeah, I've got another superstition. This one is coming from. It's actually universal as well, but I'll read it to you now.
It's coming from.
It's coming from.
Moscow.
It's coming from Russia, actually.
Moscow.
Yeah, you got it. Are you psychic?
No, when I heard Lithuania, the next thing I knew was Moscow.
All right. Because of who? We shall not say.
Okay.
Somebody went on a trip to Lithuania and then to Moscow, and it's kind of a logical conclusion.
He went to Mother Russia.
Vladimir.
To meet Vladimir.
Bloody nonsense. This superstition you're telling me. Okay, this one says
we drink vodka and then fight bear.
Fight the bear.
We fight bear.
With bare hands.
With bare hands. And then we drink more vodka.
And more vodka.
Be
with the bear as well. Now you drink the vodka with the bear after fighting the bear.
This is how we do in
this
Mother
is how
Russia.
they do in I know.
So
in
Mother Russia, they say never say happy birthday too early. They say celebrating or even congratulating someone on a birthday before the day arrives brings bad luck.
No, but this is not only
in Russia.
In Russia, they have it watered down. In our culture, you don't say congratulations to a pregnant wife.
Yeah, you see now. So you
don't say congratulations to a pregnant wife.
So you see how
lady, anything, you're not allowed to do this.
This becomes not only our culture, but these things are cross culture. These things transcend beyond borders. People have a common
but
belief.
Yeah, but it's just okay, fine for the birthday. That's a bit too much. But for the pregnant wife, it's more like don't get the hopes up high. Just
not necessarily. You have to understand where these things come from. Most of our superstitions do not come from today. Most of our superstitions are not born in the 21st century. Most of our superstitions are born in the 13th, in the 10th, in 0 BC.
Yeah.
This is where our superstitions come from. Where mother-child mortality rate was extremely high. They would die.
Yeah.
So that you don't put a parent, the grandparents, the father, the mother, in unnecessary stress. You do not tell them you've done it thereby by congratulating them.
Yeah.
You wait for them to actually receive the child.
Okay.
Which is, I think, something that we need to do in Zim now.
Yeah.
Because of the things where they are right now. We need to congratulate someone when they come back from the hospital. Because it is a huge burden on a person when they lose something that they've been attached to.
Yeah.
You get attached to an unborn baby
You already love this being.
even before you saw this person.
Mhm.
You fall in love with. Not only do you fall in love with it, not only does your wife fall in love with it, not only does your husband fall in love with it, but your brother, your sister, your mother, your father.
There's a
they
connection
all
there.
fall in love with an unborn, unseen child. Right? Now they're in love with it and we lose it. Right? So let them deal with it. Don't make them happy about it. Because if you make them happy about it, they relax. Let them understand that it is
50-50.
50-50. It's something that can happen.
and
that
there's
might,
something
which is why we call it a miracle. We then say congratulations. It's something that's big that has happened. Right? Which is not a very bad superstition to have, because it's molding, like we say, the superstition is molding our culture, our way of living, our way of doing things, the way we talk to each other. It is the superstition that is holding. But you don't say it. This one, I think, is more of a monkey behavior. If you were to find out why we don't say it, you probably wouldn't get it. You know monkey behavior, right?
Yeah.
Monkey behavior is when you put 5 monkeys in a room and you give them bananas in the middle. And then as soon as they try to eat the bananas, you beat the hell out of them. Then after you've beaten them, you remove 1 monkey. And you leave 4 monkeys. And you replace the other monkey with a new monkey. And you beat them again. By the time you remove all of them, and you have only new monkeys, not the original one, do you know what will be happening? If you put a new monkey, and it tries to touch the bananas, the monkeys that are in there, not even you, the monkeys that are in there will beat the hell out of that one, because they know now, touching this one will get us beat.
Yeah.
This one is touching, wants to get us
Beat.
but they don't know why they're doing it.
Okay. So, are you
That
going
was a side note.
and that's not that was too long. That's not a side note. That is a point, sir. Do you have another?
Yeah, I got a bag of superstitions.
Go ahead. 1 or 2 more.
This one is coming from Mexico.
Mexico.
Yes, y'all know
Don't tell me it's
Mexico.
about beans.
Nah, it ain't about beans.
It's about
We
the
passed
job.
beans already.
No, it's
Black,
about-
they're black
yeah,
beans.
It's about the dream catcher, right?
Yeah, it says, don't place 2 mirrors opposite each other. The infinite reflections may look cool, but in Mexico and elsewhere, facing mirrors open a doorway for the devil.
Yeah.
What's your take
That's
on that?
scary.
It is
Scary.
scary, but the concept, I think, is somehow spiritual, because a mirror is a reflection of what you see.
It's a reflection of your physical.
Yeah.
How is it coming into the spiritual
When
now?
2 reflections come to each other, face each other, I think maybe they believe it's a portal. A portal opens because this reflection is reflecting another reflection. So it's an endless reflection. So their thought was, because it now seems like it's an endless reflection, there's a portal for something to come from there.
You know what, Tao?
I dig it. I dig it.
As much as you take it,
I dig it.
You dig it?
I even
dig
go further than just taking it. The endless reflections might be there. I think the Mexicans stumbled onto something, or someone saw something, and it was not only one someone, it was a lot of someones who then realized, oh my God, this is something.
This is not it, yeah.
Because this is scary. It is
scary, even if it looks
thinking
cool,
about
but
it.
There's an endless
This is
reflection
scary.
which goes beyond your understanding. So when it goes
Can we
beyond-
leave this one and then talk about just
Another-
breaking the mirror? Breaking the mirror and the 7-year
the
case.
7-year
Can we
case.
just talk about that
And
one
the
instead? This one is too scary for me.
The breaking the mirror and the 7-year case, I think it was just for you to be careful with mirrors.
and you have to throw salt.
Because you know that, you know what? If you get a very small splinter into your hands, it can actually last 7 years. And you think you have 7 years bad luck on your finger.
Yes,
You
see,
know?
Yeah. So,
Very, very small splinter when you break a mirror will do you bad.
okay, so what are some superstitions that you believe that have crippled our society?
Don't walk under a ladder.
Does
That's-
that cripple a society?
Yes.
That's
I work
safety.
on a site.
As a safety.
I work on a site. Every time I see a ladder, even though I've got a helmet on and I should go, most of the time, it's actually a confined area where I have to go all the way back. You know what I do? I go all the way back.
Yeah, but that's more of a safety issue.
But the time lost.
Safety is better than time lost. Because you're going to get a concussion, and then we're going to waste more time taking you to the ER and for you to be revitalized.
But the reason I'm not going under a ladder is not because of a concussion. The superstition says I'll have bad luck.
Exactly. Just the same as the superstition you were talking about when children not allowed to play on the road, they were told that they're going to get boils on their asses. It's the same thing with the
You need a
ladder.
pee on your mouth.
But I'm talking about superstitions that have crippled our societies. You know, like a society cannot be led by a woman.
Not only has that crippled the society, it has, when we are in the 21st century, there are a lot of superstitions around females that have actually done more bad than good to humanity as a whole.
Yeah.
The understanding that periods are dirty, that's superstition.
Yeah.
So when a woman, even if it's in the Bible, it doesn't matter.
Mm.
When a woman sheds blood,
Cracking up a cold one, we see it how enjoying yourself.
It's hot out here.
I know.
the thing is, she didn't even choose it.
Mm.
It is a natural biological process
Yeah.
where, because an egg or two eggs or however many have not been fertilized, the lining around that was expecting
Yes.
sheds and she bleeds. Now, that has been made to be dirty.
Yeah.
Because of the blood.
Because of the blood. But then, honestly speaking, this is blood. We take dumps. Like, someone can go into the toilet and can ruin the toilet for you for years.
Yes.
I won't say that it's the same, but if you understand that you can go to the toilet and take a dump and you can make that place unsanitary for me, smell-wise, to enter, then what's your problem with someone who's doing a same biological...
Similar, naturally biological
thing, yeah. Because if you're going to have problems with periods, you're supposed to have
it's a
problems.
superstition, and it still
It is
prevails
crippled, yes.
today. It's still there. Because what has then happened is, from a very young age, women, as they are girls, from a very young age, girls find it very difficult to express themselves, especially when they're at that time. Forget about the period pains. We don't even have menstruation.
Yeah.
But we are saying the fact that during that time, a woman is naturally curtailed. She's held in. Even if she's not introvert, she becomes introvert. She just wants to hold everything in because things that she cannot control are still coming out.
Yeah. And on a side note, I believe that sanitary wear for women should be affordable.
Subsidized by the governments.
In a utopian environment, it should actually be free because they don't choose that.
Yeah, they do not.
You're ready for another one?
Okay, give us the last one.
This one actually also applies now.
Where is it from?
This one is coming from Turkey.
What is it with you in Eastern Europe?
I like it. It's got stuff I like.
You need to go through his Facebook pictures. Maybe, just maybe.
It's got stuff I like. This one's
I'm
from
worried.
Turkey, and
Don't be worried. You might actually need to congratulate him. You know how those Eastern European women look?
Is it about women?
Oh, tell us
What
what
does
it
the
is about.
superstition
You
say?
are the one with
I
the
know.
superstition.
What does
I like Turkey
What does
because
the superstition say?
Turkey's got good fabrics, man. Anyway,
Wow. Okay.
Turkey's got some nice cheap clothes. Y'all should go to Turkey.
Male or female clothes?
Any kind of clothes.
Are
want.
you sure?
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway, the
tell
superstition
us about the
from
superstition.
Turkey, which actually also is true to our own superstitions. It says in Turkey, itchy hands have financial repercussions. In Turkey, an itchy hand, right hands mean you come into some money, but an itch on your left means you lose money. But
Okay.
I think you've heard the itchy hands.
Yeah, and I have experienced itchy hands.
Ah,
Yeah.
and you came into some money.
Yes.
Ah,
But the losing part, because when you get in, when you come into some money, you have to spend that money. So I don't know about the left hand itchiness, but I think some superstitions, honestly speaking, some superstitions. Basically, what I think about superstitions are there are some superstitions to protect you. There are some superstitions to build you.
all right.
And then there are some superstitions which don't make sense, but just most probably because where the superstition came from, those, I don't know, 50, 60 centuries ago, it was protecting something at that time. Because you never know with this egg superstition that most probably there was, we used to have
Few chickens
few
around.
chickens which were contaminated.
So or maybe I think now, okay, now it
There
makes
was
sense.
a golden goose.
There were the few chickens, and
No.
if people were going to eat the eggs,
Yeah.
there wasn't a chance of more chickens being
Yeah,
hatched.
so then now that the egg becomes, that delicacy for the head of the family, something like that,
Okay.
Yeah.
So that most of the eggs can be kept to rear more chickens.
Yes, something like
right?
that.
Or most probably this chicken laid eggs to eggs that laid eggs that were contaminated somewhere somehow. The whole family had them. The adults didn't have much effects. And the children, but the
Children
children
would
suffer. So people are like, no, children are supposed to eat eggs.
Okay,
Right.
fine. These kind of I understand. But what about these itchy hands?
Itchy hands.
Itchy hands.
They say money. It's now
Yeah.
some. Sorry, excuse me. Some of the superstitions have.
We also have not only itchy hands, we've got a twitching eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, twitching eye. If your right eye, is your right brow, is that it? Is twitching. Something nice is about to happen.
Money.
And if it's the left one?
Yeah, something bad is about to happen.
And we have.
But this has got a bias on right and left hand.
It has, especially for left-handers like me.
I have a son who's left-handed.
I'm left-handed.
But that's what I'm saying, that, some of these superstitions did not start, like what you were saying, they started centuries and centuries ago, right?
And also,
for people, they would build you up because they don't have, most probably it started from a father-son conversation, but the father didn't understand it as well.
exactly, I wanted to say the same thing. Some of the superstitions.
and the son
Monkey
would ask, like,
behavior.
Yeah, and the son would be like, the son would come
We are
to
back
him,
to monkey behavior.
The son will come and say that, you know what, Dad, my right brow is itching. Then he'll say, you're going to have good luck. And then the son will be
Bees
like,
around you. There's also the bees around. When bees follow you.
when a bee lands on your shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah, that's some luck coming.
What
to you.
about when a bird poops on you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's another one. Actually, it's not only in our culture. This is actually from Mother Russia again. They say
There he goes with Eastern Europe again.
he's saying according to Russian
We
superstition.
drink vodka and let bird poop on head.
Do you have vodka for us today? Maybe this is where this all is going. Tell me, do you have vodka for us, my friend?
Y'all like vodka? If you want the vodka, we can get vodka for you. No problem. Clean coffee.
After we drink vodka, we go outside.
We
Look
fight
for
with
bed.
bare hands.
After finishing fight bare hands, we look for bed. It poop on head. Give good luck.
Who is pooping on bed now?
Bed
Poop on you,
head.
on top of
Okay.
you.
Not me pooping on bed, right?
Da.
I will not be able to do that.
Because actually, it's rare that birds will poop on
Yeah.
someone, but they sometimes
Do you
do.
know of the lucky
But the
ant?
problem is, some people think it's lucky, some people think it's unlucky.
Yeah,
Cultures are different.
cultures are different, yeah, but some
Others think it's lucky, others think it's unlucky.
I believe it's from where it originated from, because it could have happened when just 2-3 guys are just walking, and then someone is pooped on the head by a bird flying past, and people are like, "You're lucky. I've never
rare, something that's
this.
rare, something that's rare.
I've never experienced this, you
Mhm.
know.
So
Because
it's-
some of the superstitions become so
What
silly.
about in the other case, for you to be unlucky, someone would then have said, "You are looking so smart, you are looking so clean," and while they're praising him about this smartness, a bird poops on him. Oh, you're so
You're
unlucky.
so unlucky. Yeah, you see,
You see?
it depends on the context because
you may
like,
be unlucky, but when the bird poofs on you, maybe a girl see you like, oh, sorry, what happened? Can I clean that for you? You start a
Yeah.
conversation.
I'm lucky.
Yes.
And you married that woman.
Exactly.
Oh my
So-
God, you found your soulmate from poop.
Yeah. And what I wanted to say on top of what Munya was saying,
Soulmate from poop. It's a poop mate.
Poop mate. What I wanted to say was,
on a side note,
On a side note
that was
again.
disgusting.
yeah, who thinks like
Who
that?
thinks like that?
Who does
Seriously.
that?
But
Anyway.
seriously, we just talked about someone getting pooped on and then finding their wife.
Yeah.
That's a soulmate from poop.
Yeah, we understand, but then
Don't bring the
did
poop
you have to
into it.
milk it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's quite
disgusting.
Anyway, Munya, I wanted to say, like what I've noticed from our discussion is that some of the superstitions came about because people maybe back then did not understand some concept that we understand now.
Oh, yeah.
Like Tavi is explaining the reason why things happen. There's no scientific explanation. No one can explain why certain things happen. So
Monkey behavior.
so they came up with superstitions to safeguard or to protect them from what they didn't understand. But now, because of technology and science, people begin to understand how things work, and some of the superstitions now become they won't be relevant anymore because of understanding. So some of the things, it's lack of understanding.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
I could say,
Yeah. So
it's-
basically, what we're saying is that superstitions are and were, as far as people understood
Understood.
the situation.
Understood.
yeah.
But then now that culture,
Whether they were trying to be doing it good or
yeah,
bad,
or bad, yeah. But
there
then,
were-
as
there was
far
an
as they
understanding
understood,
that
yes.
was limited.
So now, when cultures meet and when people start learning new things and when people start interacting on the global scale, they start seeing that superstitions, some of them are just that. you
But
know.
I think we need to take this. Maybe we need to do another episode on this because I remember a cricket umpire in Zimbabwe, right?
Mm.
This umpire would always lift his legs 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2 up when a batsman was on 99, because I think the story went every time he was umpiring and he would stand still and just watch. Every time a batsman was on 99, they would not get to 100, they would be bowled out.
Mm.
So what he would then do every time a batsman, what he was now doing was, every time a batsman goes to 99, he would lift up his legs.
But you see, that superstition now also affects the batsman, because if he's on maybe, you see,
Exactly.
and he doesn't see the guy doing that shuffle, it demoralizes him.
subconscious mind comes
yeah,
into
so-
play.
But normally he would try to be behind the batsman, or at least
Yeah.
he would not be the one in front of the batsman.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say here is the superstition realm becomes so big. I think we need to do another one. Let's close it off here today and pick it up with more interest, because shuffling your feet so that someone doesn't get is a professional athlete, for goodness sake.
Yeah, and so there's also superstition in sports. So I think it's a whole nother episode we need to dwell into. There's a lot of superstition.
Lots of them.
in entertainment as well. Everywhere, people do
Break a leg. You tell you someone saying break
funny
a
things.
Do I really have to break a leg?
On that note,
Not a
before
side note.
you even start talking about things that you want to talk about in the next episode, which renders this episode the same as the other episode, you can catch us on Stitcher, Spotify,
YouTube.
SoundCloud,
SoundCloud, Public Radio,
Google Podcasts.
Google Podcasts, or you can just
Coming soon
Take
on Apple Podcast.
and you can just take our RSS feed and put it in the platform that you listen your podcasts on. And yeah, Maungira clan, let's keep the conversation
Join the clan.
going.
Thank you.